Okay, so I don't see anybody here yet, but hello and good evening. Hey guys, it's Friday, July 10th, 2020, and I was thinking about it tonight and I thought to myself, I know it's 10 o'clock where I live, but I thought I'd go on and do one final live stream between now and August 1st. So here I am. I'm just going to take a quick second here before I get going. Um, I am now live, guys, if anybody wants to join. I love how if you use the mic feature on an iPhone, it says life instead of live. It's just wonderful. All right, the Weed is Heat 96. Hey, how you doing? Ugh. All right. Well, I must say it's been an interesting week. I was supposed to be at a kids camp this week, but of course, due to the ongoing pandemic, that got shut down. And then I must say, it's been weird not being there today. So I felt that a live stream was good timing too today because this whole situation sucks. Um, I was gonna say my plan so far is to talk for about another half an hour to an hour. If there's a lot of people that are on, um, I will probably go for about another hour plus. But I would say at the most I will probably go on till about 11:15, 11:30 Pacific time, which is about 1:30 in the morning Central Time, 3:30 Atlantic, 2:30 Eastern, 12:30 Mountain. Yeah, I got those all mixed up. But I was going to say, I noticed that Major League Soccer was on. I see they've done their MLS is back tournament. They've started that. I think it's terrific that we've got some type of sports back. I actually watched that game between the Seattle Sounders and the San Jose Earthquakes tonight, and the game ended in a tie. And I must say, you really don't realize what you have until it's gone because I was really glued to my TV when that was on. I was so happy to see some type of sporting event back. Um, I hear that the CBA has been ratified in the NHL and that training camp starts on Monday. I also hear that there's going to be some type of two-game exhibition in Major League Baseball before they start their shortened 60-game season. I will be curious to see how that goes. In my personal opinion, I actually feel that it is very possible that some of these sports may not get to have the finish that we want because I do feel it is very much possible that COVID-19 could start to affect sports. I mean, a number of baseball players have come down with COVID. I've seen Major League Soccer have to postpone their game between the Vancouver Whitecaps and FC Dallas due to, I believe, 9 FC Dallas players coming down with COVID-19. That's really unfortunate. But I must say, with the National Hockey League, I'm glad to see that we're going to have at least another 6 years of CBA peace, and we're not going to have to worry about another BS lockout. Now, was there anything that you guys wanted me to discuss at all at this point? Okay. Let me just see something here. Um, Sorry to be pinging everybody for a second time, but I am on live stream right now if anyone wants to join in. So that'll be the last time I ping anybody on Discord. So hopefully we will get at least another person or two in. So I'll quickly ask you guys a question for whoever is on this stream at this point in time. How do you feel about the Calgary Flames? Do you think they should wear retro for home and away games, or just home games for now? Ooh, excuse me. Huh. Hmm. So Calgary should go retro full time. Hey, Sean, I'm glad you're here. Really glad to see another person's here. Yeah, they should go retro full time, Sean. I totally agree. Hey, Angus, great to see you here as well. Awesome. So we got some people here. Good, good. I know this is absolutely last second surprise, but I thought I'd surprise everybody. I thought I'd do a surprise stream. And for the record, you guys, I want to say this. This will be my last live stream as the Rockzilla94 because on August 1st, I'm finally going to stop talking about it and just change the channel name. It's going to just be Rockzilla from August 1st forward, and personally, I'm really looking forward to the change. Truth is, about this time last year, or about 11 months ago, actually, because I started thinking about it after the 4-year anniversary of my channel's first video. And I started thinking about it last year, and I started thinking, well, my channel name is pretty random. I made it back in like when I was about 13, 14 years of age because I needed a username to play online on my PlayStation 3 with. So that's why I used that name, and then I needed a username for YouTube, so then I went with the Rockzilla94. So for anybody hoping the name is not going to change drastically, you are in luck because I will be only changing the name to Rockzilla. So the name is not getting a drastic name change because I think after 5 years, there really is no need to be doing a drastic change when my channel name is already established with those of you who have been following me for quite some time now. So it's not going to be a full-blown name change like Windy City Hockey had back in January, where Nick changed his channel name from Nick S. Blackhawks Talk, which I liked to call it Nick's Blackhawks Talk, to Windy City Hockey. He changed it to that. Great name change, in my opinion. Way better than the old name. It really sounds professional. It really sounds official. As for me, I haven't had a channel for only a year. I've had this channel for almost 5 years. So changing it to doing a name tweak rather than a rebrand, an outright rebrand, in my opinion, is probably the best way to go. Personally, I think Rockzilla is a name that stands out. It's a name that's different. And instead of changing it, I felt it'd be better to tweak it and to build on it. So I'm looking forward to that and once August hits. But I should ask you guys a question regarding the channel name. How do you feel about me tweaking the name and going by Rockzilla starting August 1st? Because I think people are finding that it's been a good move, but I actually would like to have a little bit more of an opportunity to talk to more of you since you are here. So, whatever your thoughts are on that, I'd love to hear it. So, I will come back and talk in about a minute. So, how do you guys feel about my plan to change the channel name? Yeah, I think so too, Sean. It's a cleaner name, it's less wordy, and it's a hell of a lot less random. I feel like the name Rockzilla makes it sound a little bit more official, makes the channel name a little bit more. I don't want to really call it professional because when I think of a name that sounds more professional and official, I think of a name more like Windy City Hockey, to be honest, or King Angus. That's a pretty good name too, I gotta say. And the Weedus Heat 96, that for a long name, that is definitely a name that sticks out for all the right reasons. I just think TheRockzilla94 is so random. So cleaning it up is something that I'm excited about. Now, I don't know if all, I'm sure most of you, I know Sean and I think you, the Weedus Heat 96, follow me on Facebook. Oh, yeah, you do. You do. What am I saying? So I know you guys do, but Angus, I know you're the only person on here so far that does not follow me on Facebook, but the Facebook page is now just Rockzilla, is just Rockzilla. So I made that change on Canada Day, and the reason for that is because I thought it'd be a good idea to start easing people into the fact that I am changing the channel name. And I think that by slowly doing it on Discord back in June, doing it on Facebook, and now getting ready to do it here, I think it's a good easing in. It's better than a sudden, abrupt change. But also, starting August 1st, I will be using the 5-year anniversary logo that I implemented back in February. That has been on my Discord and Facebook for quite some time. So, let's see here. Crap, where did I put my telephone? All right. I gotta ask, just to keep things interesting, is there anything in particular you guys would like me to talk about at this point? Hmm. Mhm. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just talk about what I think is gonna happen in the NHL. So obviously their plan is to restart August 1st. Hopefully things will go well and we will get a Stanley Cup champion. But I think that whatever Stadium Series and Winter Classic matchups are slated to happen next season, I guarantee they will be canceled if they have not been already. So, hey, Angus, thank you for your question. Um, so, Angus asks, what do you think the Habs might do if they get an alternate jersey? Unfortunately, from what I know, it's going to be a blue inverse of their classic red sweater. Now, obviously, if you heard that well, you noticed that I said the word unfortunately. Now, to me, I feel that the Montreal Canadiens uniforms and their branding is very, very historic, iconic, and in my opinion, untouchable. And for myself, I just don't feel that it's right seeing the Montreal Canadiens wearing a bright royal blue jersey. I've seen the Spokane Chiefs royal blue jersey. That's a flip of the red Canadiens, or the classic red Canadian sweater. And it doesn't look bad. It does not look bad at all. I think it looks great on the Spokane Chiefs minus their red helmets they wear with it. But I just don't feel that the Canadians should wear that. And to me, I think that if Montreal is going to do some type of extra uniform, which honestly, Angus, I don't think they should even have one, to be honest. I don't think they need it. But if they are going to do one, which if they wear it for only a few games, I would be okay with it. But I'd like to see them bring back their Winter Classic sweater they wore against the Boston Bruins in 2016 for the Winter Classic. For the 2018 NHL 100 Classic uniform, I got to be honest, Angus. If they did bring that back, um, it would be better than the blue jersey that I've been hearing they are going to go with. I know that I've seen on Twitter that their owner Jeff Molson has said that we are working on something we are considering something in terms of an alternate uniform. He did say it himself in a clip recently. So I would say that it's not a matter of if Montreal does a blue reverse of their classic red sweater. It's only a matter of when they're able to launch it due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Um, to be honest, I wasn't a fan of the NHL 100 Classic jersey. I did not care for the silver accents, and I honestly felt that the sweater was a little bit too plain. What I would have done, Angus, is I would have liked to have seen the Montreal Canadiens wear the white sweater that they wore back in the 1930s, I believe. And you know what? While I'm here, I'm gonna go on to and look that up just for my own curiosity here. Um, so bear with me for a moment, you guys. So I'd honestly like to see Montreal bring out the design they wore in 1935 through to 1938 with the extra striping on the upper chest area, because in my opinion, something like that would look really, really good. It would be an actual throwback, and I think that's all Montreal should be doing, in my opinion. Um, but personally, if there was any uniform I'd love to see Montreal bring back, it would be the 2016 sweater, because at first I didn't like it, believe it or not, and I honestly would like to build a time machine just so I could go back in time and say, hey, how do you think this jersey is a bad idea? How do you think this rounded collar is a bad idea? I'd honestly like to sit down with myself from about 5 years ago or whenever and just say, look, what the hell is the matter with you? Are you nuts? Jesus Christ. Can't believe I disliked that jersey when it first came out. I feel so stupid even saying that here. Um, Angus, you said I would add some blue and red to it. See, I agree with that. If they did what I'm saying, like the 1935 through to the end of the 37-38 season, I think that would be absolutely marvelous. If they did, even with an Adidas rounded collar, I think it would look really good. The 100 Classic sweater was not a horrible sweater, but in my opinion, it was rather forgettable. I didn't like all the heaviness of silver. I wish that they would have left it without the silver personally, but it was fine. It wasn't a terrible uniform, and if they did bring it back, Angus, I would not be against it, to be honest. But in terms of what I prefer, I honestly feel that 2016 Winter Classic sweater deserves at least another season or two of usage personally. Now, there is something that I do want to address here. I want to definitely address your comment, Sean, because I don't want to leave you hanging. So Sean asks, what are your thoughts about the MLS and the NBA finishing in Orlando? Um, Honestly, as long as they can do it safely and they can have a COVID-free finish to their seasons, um, I'm okay with it. But I hear that Florida has been hit very, very hard as a result of the ongoing pandemic. So I'm concerned about that. I'm not going to lie. But if they are in bubbles and the players are staying quarantined, they're physically distancing, staying in their bubbles, not coming into contact with COVID-19, I think it can work. And seeing that these leagues are two of North America's big five professional sports leagues, I have the utmost faith that they have the proper medical advice. But remember, just because you have the best medical advice and the best testing available doesn't mean that COVID-19 cannot affect players. All it takes is for one instance where someone comes into contact with the virus or and with someone who has it, even if they are asymptomatic, I believe. Um, Actually, I'm not sure on that one. Sorry. I'm going to retract that a little bit because I'm not fully sure. I'm not sure if the virus can be spread person to person if the person that's got it is asymptomatic. I'm not fully sure on that, and I don't want to make a comment when I don't know. But if people come into contact, it is so easy for anybody to get into contact. All it takes is one person to come down with it, and once they got it, yeah, you can quarantine them and whatever, but that doesn't mean that they haven't already potentially spread it to other people. So everybody, top to bottom, has to do their absolute due diligence to make sure that they are safe, they are physically distancing, following their guidelines, following their procedures and protocols. And if they can do it and stay COVID free, then I think that it can work. But I will be honest, Sean, Orlando, in my opinion, um, Florida, from what I know, has not been doing very well due to with COVID-19. So I'm a little bit concerned about Orlando, but I do believe that if they follow the right protocols, procedures, and physical distancing guidelines, that you know what, I think they can make this work. At least I'm optimistic and hopeful that they can, because you know what, I think those guys want to finish their seasons as much as we want to watch sports. And if they can do it safely, that's great. If not, then it has to be shut down. That's the right thing to do. And you know what? If they can't do it, they can't do it. I'm just grateful that they've tried to do something. I tip my hat to them, but if they can't make it work, they can't make it work. Safety first. I've been saying that since March, as you all know by now, I'm sure. Yes, I noticed that too, Sean. Lots of teams like Nashville FC. I guess Nashville FC is a new team. Sorry, Sean, I didn't even know they existed, to be quite honest, at FC Dallas. Um, okay, I did not know that FC Dallas pulled out of the tournament. I know that they were supposed to play the Vancouver Whitecaps this past Thursday, and that game was canceled because I believe 9 of their players on FC Dallas tested positive for COVID-19. So, and yes, I agree, that does suck. It really sucks. Yeah, I must say it's been really unfortunate watching so many things get canceled as a result of COVID-19. Um, I also, in my personal life, I was supposed to be volunteering at a kids camp this week, and that, of course, got canceled due to the fact that obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, and having kids running around is a stupid idea. So that obviously they did the right thing, in my opinion, 100%. Um, But with the situation though, I must say, these past few days going to work instead of being at the camp has been unfortunate. I mean, the only good thing that did happen though with my work is that all of my shifts were morning shifts. So the latest I was off was 6 o'clock. So that was great. A lot of times I'll be at work as late as 9 or 10, and to get off early is so nice. It really is. And even yesterday, I got to start at 8 in the morning. I was thinking, oh my gosh, you guys are going to let me start my long weekend with an early shift, an early morning shift. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best. So I got to go home at 4 o'clock yesterday, and I took a bit of time off this weekend, and you know what? Honestly, that was a nice surprise considering the fact that I've been feeling a little bit, I don't want to say down or depressed, but because those are the wrong terms, but I've been really, this week I've been really thinking about what I was really looking forward to doing this week, and the fact that I didn't get to do it, and seeing other people not get to do it, kids not get to go to the camp, people being out of work, that sucks. That really sucks. And seeing the amount of unemployment, thankfully people are starting to go back to work now slowly, but still, the whole situation sucks. And all the lives that have been affected and people that have died, it's been very, very unfortunate. And I just hope they can find a cure for this virus and find a vaccine by the end of the year, hopefully. Now, on to things more positive, though. Hey, Caesar. Great to see you here. Is your name pronounced Caesar like Caesar salad, or is it Cesar? Because I know there's two different ways of pronouncing it. I just want to make sure that if I'm going to read your comments, I want to pronounce your name properly. Okay, so I see. So okay. So Caesar, I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. If I'm not, I'm really sorry. You've said here you want the New York Jets to make their green throwback uniform they wore occasionally to be their home uniform, and the white version to be their away. Which throwback specifically? Were you thinking like the Joe Namath era of, like, say, the 70s, or were you thinking the 80s, 90s? Um, Also, the New York Giants to wear their white color rush or throwback, whatever it is, not the red striped white jersey. Yes, I totally agree. The New York Giants, in my opinion, need to go back to the uniforms they had throughout the 80s and 90s. Those are the best uniforms they've had. And I'm going to be honest with you, I feel the Giants word mark on the side of the helmets is far nicer than the New York monogram logo that they've had, that they went back to, and since that they've been gone back to since 2001, almost 20 years ago. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I have both uniforms for the Giants. I've never hated them. They are good, and they are throwbacks. They did go retro when they went to their current uniforms. Um, I know that they were a throwback. They are a throwback to like the 60s and 70s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't like the plain blue shirt. I prefer the red, white, red striping on the sleeves, and the Color Rush jersey by itself is much better than their away uniform. I love how it has both royal blue and red. And, if they could just wear that uniform with contrasting socks and bring out the original, the matching blue jersey with that uniform, the Color Rush jersey, I mean, they should go back to that full time. I totally agree. So you guys are saying also, did you know the Redskins are considering a name change? Uh, don't be sorry for the random posting. I'm glad you're posting. I'm serious. Um, I've heard a lot about that. And Sean, you're saying that you think it's time for Washington to get a new name. I respect that. So I have heard a lot about that. I can appreciate the conversation, and I do think it's an important one for the Washington Redskins to have. I hope that they do sit down and talk to Native Americans. I do think that if they're saying that the name is supposed to honor Indigenous Americans, I do think that they should talk to them and make sure that they feel that it's a respectful team name. And from what I gather, a lot of people, especially amongst Indigenous communities, feel that the name is a slur. And in my opinion, if the vast majority of Indigenous Americans feel that this name is not acceptable, then I hope that the Washington Redskins will do the right thing, if that's the case, which I am positive that it is. And speaking of that, I will also add in an additional thing to that. One of my coworkers is Aboriginal, and her and I were talking about it, and she told me that she's hoping that the team name will change. So I don't think the name is going to last much longer. And you know what? I do think that what is probably happening behind the scenes is that the NFL has probably sat Dan Snyder down and told him, because for anybody wondering, he's the owner of the Washington Redskins. I'm sure that Roger Goodell and the owners have probably sat down or Zoom chatted with him or whatever and said, look, Dan, this name, we understand your feelings about the name, but you need to change it. And I'm sure it's going to be the same exact situation that recently happened in Cleveland with the Cleveland Indians and their longtime Chief Wahoo logo. I do think the league will not ask him to change it. On the surface, they might make it look that way, but I think behind the scenes, they're saying, hey, you're changing the name. You need to change the name. And I would be shocked if by the end of 2020, the franchise is still called the Washington Redskins, to be honest. So we will wait and see on that, but I do think a change is coming. And from what I gather, the word is a slur. And if it is actually a racist slur, which I personally, from what I've seen, it is, personally, I don't, since this is a live stream, I'll get into this more. I don't want to do a video about it. I don't want to get political in any way, because I know some people do take it that way. But in my opinion, if Indigenous people feel that it is a racist slur, I do think it should be changed. That's my opinion. So, Caesar, I was going to ask you this again. When you're talking about the New York Jets, um, were you talking about the 70s Joe Namath era uniforms, or were you talking the 80s and 90s? Mm-hmm. You know what, Sean? I hope so too. I saw before you retracted your message that you said you accidentally typed down chefs. If they did call themselves the Kansas City Chefs, I do think they should make Gordon Ramsay their logo. That would be pretty funny. Or the Kansas City Ramses. But I do agree, Sean. I do feel that the Kansas City Chiefs, you almost got me there, should keep their name. Unlike the word Redskin, I know that that word is certainly not racist in any way. Um, hmm, what was I going to say? Okay. Bear with me for just a moment, you guys. Okay, Sean, I'm going to actually mention you here. You commented earlier that on Discord that you would do anything to have Carolina go back to those old third jerseys. I totally agree. In my opinion, I haven't had the opportunity to sit down and talk about the new alternate uniforms that came out in the 2018-19 season. But you know, I think that Carolina's new design is interesting. It's new. It uses the heathered red striping. The creativity is there, but I've always felt that it's nowhere near as good as what it's replaced. And the dark gray shoulder yoke, does it look good up close? Yeah, it's cool. But from a distance, the shoulder yoke bleeds into the jersey. And you know what? If they were going to deal with storm gray, the dark gray color, same gray as the Golden Knights, I believe, why didn't they just do a steel or storm gray uniform with a black shoulder yoke? That would have been a way better uniform. Why do I say that? Because black complements dark gray. A shoulder yoke that's darker than the jersey base, unless it'll contrast a lot better because dark gray and black are two of the absolute darkest colors on the spectrum. Well, shades. So before black, you have ultra dark gray. So if the uniform base is dark gray and you have a black shoulder yoke on that instead of what they went with, it would complement much better. But you know what? Honestly, Sean, everything top to bottom, in my opinion, from their old third jersey is far superior to their new one. The red and silver, the storm squares striping around the waist that was gray with black squares. It was a great uniform. It was exceptionally unique, and I still think it's the best Hurricanes jersey to date. And what about that new away jersey? I'm sorry, but their new away jersey sucks. In my opinion, Carolina's old away jersey was actually pretty good, minus the lack of the storm square striping, which was a stupid mistake on their part. I mean, at least the new away jersey brings it back, but still, their new uniform is too plain, it's too mediocre. It's just a bad design. I mean, they should have at least made the word mark on it black. And nicknames on jerseys is so 2008. But of course, the Washington Capitals decided to play the Stadium Series game against Toronto as the Washington Crapitals because they put on a stupid nickname on the front of their jersey instead of the Weagle, which should have been there. And they basically took the 2016 USA Navy Blue jersey from the World Cup and basically added a shoulder yoke and a big massive red block on the bottom of the jersey and called it a day. It said good enough. I mean, hang on. Woohoo! Way to be creative, Washington and Adidas. Jesus Christ. And Sean says, and I don't like the Canes' new away jersey with the Canes word mark going down the center. It's a ripoff of the New York Rangers. See, I would honestly, here's how I feel about word marks on jersey, Sean. Honestly, I don't think the Rangers should be the only team that's allowed to have a diagonal word mark on a jersey. Now, I know a lot of people don't agree with me there, but teams such as the Pittsburgh Penguins have done it, and Colorado have both done it in the past to create, over time, some decent uniforms. I feel that both Colorado wordmark jerseys that the Avalanche have had in their history have both been very good. The original one way better than the second one, even though I love that they finally used their shade of blue. But if that jersey had some hem striping, that jersey would have been completely terrific in my opinion, even though I thought for a third jersey it was actually pretty good. And as for Pittsburgh's mid-1990s black uniform with the Pittsburgh word mark on the front, I actually have always felt that was a great jersey. But is it better than their jersey that they went back to? Nope. But I would love to see it come back at some point as an alternate of some sort, except with the Pittsburgh gold current logo on the shoulders instead of that corporate robo pigeon or robo penguin or pigeon or whatever you want to call it on the shoulders. That was a mistake. That rebrand that the Penguins did in the mid-1990s was a mistake. And you know what I don't like about Pittsburgh too? I hate the collars. Reebok did collars fantastically. Now their parent company, Adidas, comes in, and in my opinion, the appearance of the hockey jersey has been tarnished. It doesn't. There's still hockey jerseys, but now they look more like high-tech shirts. I mean, they're still jerseys, don't get me wrong, but what I'm trying to say is that those collars and those dimpled shoulders and the perforated numbers, I feel they take away from the classic hockey aesthetic, the classic hockey sweater look. You know, I at the end of Reebok's time in the NHL, I really feel that they really had nailed the collars. Even the Florida Panthers' new uniforms, the collars looked great in the one season they had their design with the Reebok Edge uniform. Since Adidas has taken over, they made the crest bigger and the style, yikes, I'm not a fan. They are a team I hope that will either go retro or move to Quebec if they can't make it work in Florida. Um, okay. Hmm. Okay, so has anybody heard anything about the Canadian Football League? Are they going to resume it all this year, or are they going to cancel the 2020 season? I hope that somehow they can find a way to salvage the season. See, the idea I have for the CFL is have everybody play a round robin where you play each and every team in the CFL once each. And then you do the playoffs based on your traditional divisional ranking, and then you work your way up to the Grey Cup, have the big game, and then you have a winner. And Sean, I totally agree. I hope some other company does a better job when the Adidas contract expires. I hope it's CCM or Bauer and not Nike, because Nike will introduce their flywire bull crap that they've plagued the IIHF events with for a long, long time. I don't like the collars. I do like Canada's new white uniform, but I hate how the striping is cut off on the arms. I hate the oversized shoulder yokes. I hate the placing of the numbers. And if you look at the NFL uniform redesigns are not good. The only reason 2020's offseason has been good for NFL uniforms overall is because those redesigns that we've been seeing have mostly been corrections of bad uniforms. Well, the Indianapolis Colts had a nice update to their uniform, in my opinion, even though I think the black Nike logos on their away jersey are unacceptable. New England's new uniforms, I feel, were a nice upgrade, even though I think the lack of silver pants with the home jersey is ridiculous. I am so sick and tired of the monochrome trend in football right now. It's getting out of hand. As for the Falcons, I think their new uniforms suck. Do I think they could grow on me a little bit once they start wearing them on the field? I will be I'm optimistically hopeful, but I hope that in 5 years' time they just do the right thing and create new uniforms based on older uniform styles. Then you look at the Chargers. They are actually one team that got a Nike redesign that actually upgraded their uniforms. Even though I think the monochrome royal and monochrome navy is stupid, especially the monochrome royal blue. Why can't it just be a regular alternate uniform with white pants? Gee, is it that hard? Then you look at the Buccaneers and the Browns. The Buccaneers and the Browns are corrections of the past 5 to 6 years of crappy, not just crappy. but two of the worst uniform sets in football history, NFL history to be exact. So Cleveland did the right thing. The Buccaneers did the right thing too. Even though I honestly do prefer the creamsicle, I do. I do think the red and pewter overall is the best branding package for the Buccaneers that they've had. So going back to that, going back to the Super Bowl winning uniforms for the most part, and adding a new pewter alternate was by far and away the right decision in my opinion, for sure. And then the Rams crapped the bed on their uniforms. They crapped the bed. I feel the Falcons' new uniforms stink. The Colts number font is an upgrade, but the black Nike logo is unacceptable. And the Patriots' new uniforms are an upgrade too, in my opinion. But the monochrome at home that's got to be fixed right away. So, Sean, speaking of the Grey Cup, Sean says he may go to it in 2022. And speaking of 2022, I heard the MLB All-Star game that was supposed to be in 2020 was in Los Angeles, but it got postponed until 2022. Yeah, they have moved the All-Star game in Los Angeles to 2022. Hopefully by the end of this year, hopefully we will start to hear about a vaccine being available for COVID-19. I think that would be marvelous. I know our doctors and scientists and researchers are doing everything they can to find something. I know they are. And I have faith that they will find something within 6 months to a year. At least I'm optimistically hopeful that they will find something. Fingers crossed on that. But yeah, if you go to the Grey Cup in 2022, I hope it works out. I really do. I hope you can go to the Grey Cup. Personally, that's on my sports bucket list to go to a Grey Cup game sometime in my lifetime. That would be amazing. But I wonder how expensive the tickets are. So the Weed is Seat 96. You say that you don't like the Nike logo on the chest. I agree. On Major League Baseball jerseys, it's ridiculous. It looks like a blatant jersey ad. And, I was talking to somebody recently, and they said that they felt that the Nike logo was probably put on the front so that they have room on a sleeve for an advertisement patch. It's ridiculous. Nike's logo should be exactly where the Majestic logo was, subtly on the sleeve. Leave the front of the jersey alone, and certainly keep advertisements off it too, or I am not watching baseball anymore unless the Blue Jays go on a playoff run. That's it. Yeah, the Nike logo looks like an advertisement, and it is. And you know what? What really makes me mad is when I see that big Nike swoosh on the front of classic, iconic baseball uniforms like the New York Yankees classic pinstripes. That's unacceptable. That, in my opinion, that should piss baseball fans off. The Cubs with the Nike logo on the front, any team for that matter. But the most iconic teams in baseball, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Chicago Cubs, that's ridiculous. Unacceptable, in my opinion. Completely and utterly unacceptable. It's not right. Now I hear that they could start to put ads on as soon as they agree to a new CBA. If they do that, I'm not watching baseball anymore unless the Blue Jays go on some incredible Cinderella run. The only reason I've watched the NBA in any way, shape, or form since they brought in advertisements on their jerseys was last season, only because the Raptors went on a championship winning playoff run. That's it. question for you guys. Do you think the Arizona Coyotes will go full-time retro in the next season or two? Or once, at least at the bare minimum, once COVID-19 is over? All right. So let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to move on here at this point. So there are still 5 NFL jersey videos that I still want and need to do. I do want to say, I hope that to all 151 of you that have subscribed to me that you are continuing to enjoy my videos. Truth is, I noticed I have been talking more about non-jersey related stuff lately. And the reason for that is because I've been trying to create more videos. And I've been finding that those have been easier videos for myself to sit down and film. And there's been a lot of side things, like, say, the NFL expanding their postseason that I really wanted to do videos about. In fact, in a couple days from now, I am scheduled to be doing a bi-weekly roundup, the second one since I started breaking that down into a bi-weekly program. Hey, Nick, glad to finally see you on here. I was starting to wonder, Nick. I was like, wait, where the hell is Nick? And yes, and Nick, I did message you because, I decided I had some time tonight. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a live stream tonight. And, oh, you had no, okay. Nick, I apologize for that miscommunication. I will thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will be a hell of a lot smarter than getting the message around to people the next time I do a stream. And for anybody wondering, my plan is to do another stream on August 1st to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of the channel's first video, and to also kick off the 94 free era of the channel, because obviously August 1st I do a name tweak and I start becoming Rockzilla instead of the Rockzilla94. So I am very happy about that. And yes, your channel turns 2 on Sunday, Nick. Congratulations on that, and the fact that you're now a little over 500 subs. So that's impressive. You've done very, very well. What was I going to say here? Okay, I like the Phoenix Coyotes, better than the Arizona Coyotes because at least Phoenix shared the same name with the Suns. That's an interesting opinion, actually. Phoenix is definitely a cool name for a team. Phoenix Coyotes. Arizona is named after the state. I'm honestly good with either. I do like the name Arizona Coyotes, though. But yeah, Phoenix was good. But I do like and respect the Coyotes for, changing their name to represent the entire state of Arizona. But as I say that, Phoenix Suns is a really cool name. Arizona Suns would not be as cool, to be honest. But you know, I will say this about the Coyotes. I do hope that instead of going retro, I'd like to see them take the original uniforms and create new uniforms based off of those that use Kachina striping. But as I say that though, the problem with Adidas seems to be when they redesign uniforms, they just, in my opinion, they have not been good. Yeah, that too. That's a good argument too, Nick. It does make sense to not call them Phoenix because they play in Glendale. But what if the Coyotes pull this off, get a new arena built in Phoenix? But speaking of Arizona, I do think it would be amazing if the Cardinals listen and get some new uniforms. I don't even think a Nike redesign would be a downgrade over their current uniforms. So, excuse me. I actually think the Cardinals uniforms are so bad that a Nike redesign would even be an upgrade. And that's how little faith I have in Nike redesigns. Sorry to be a downer, you guys, but I just have not been impressed with what Nike has done with the redesigns. Their color rush uniforms overall, a lot of them have been great because a lot of them have been throwbacks. And a lot of them have just been color flips of existing uniforms. But the monochrome package, of course, is BS. That's stupid. It looks bad, too, in my opinion. But the jerseys themselves, most of them were good. But, of course, the Bucks and the Browns got their redesigns right because their last uniforms were so damn awful. And Nick, I do like the two jerseys you got back from customization. They look really good. I did see those. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. To those of you who are not in it, I do have a Discord server, and I do think it would be really nice to add some more people to the Discord. You know, I'm not looking for half of an entire metropolitan area to join my server because I do like the idea of keeping it smaller and keeping it more like a little community where everybody kind of knows each other. But to those of you on here now that are not on my Discord, I'd love to see you guys join. I post people's concepts every Sunday, and we use the forums to talk about jerseys, uniforms, and logos. So if you guys want to join, it'd be great to have you. I actually do have a link. I think it's in the About section of my channel. So if you want to join, I'd love to have you in. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss, Sean. That's hard. Oh, that sucks. Thanks for posting the link for my Discord, Nick. I really appreciate it. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, that sucks. Well, Is there anything that anybody would like me to talk about at this point? Truth is, I was thinking I'd keep this going for about another 15 minutes to a half an hour and then call it a wrap. Nick asks, do you have any pro player branded jerseys? I have an old Colorado Avalanche burgundy jersey that is a pro player. Actually, that one I do have as a pro player. I actually have a starter Florida Panthers jersey, and it's actually really good quality for a replica. Okay. Am I happy that hockey is just around the corner? Well, Nick, I'm actually really happy about it coming back, but at the same time, in my honest opinion, to me, it's a case of I will believe it when I see it, because with the ongoing pandemic, you never know what's going to happen. You're never going to know until things get going if players are going to come down with the virus. Um, I'm optimistic that the National Hockey League will be able to make this work, but at the same time, with the amount of people that are all going to be going to these two hub cities in Toronto and Edmonton, I understand the risk of somebody leaving the bubble or the risk of somebody coming into contact with someone who has COVID-19. So I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful and I'm keeping my fingers crossed as much as everybody else that they can pull this off, but I'm also understanding and I also expect there to be to me, it's a case of expect the worst, but hope for the best. Be ready to expect the worst, but hope for the best. I do very much believe there's a chance this may not even start. But I'm also hopeful and optimistic that the National Hockey League will have the right guidelines, protocols, and physical distancing measures in place. Sorry to be sounding like I belong somewhere as a chief medical officer, which I have absolutely zero medical intelligence. But what I'm trying to get at is I do think they have the right ideas and rules in place to keep everybody safe and as COVID free as possible. But anything can happen. So fingers crossed it works out, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. Sean, you're saying here, yes, especially playoffs, but it's going to be hard watching it with no fans. You know, I do agree with that, but at the same time, I'm honestly going to be just happy to see it back, to see them attempt to finish the 2019-20 season in the fairest way they can possibly do it. I mean, in Rockzilla's little perfect little world, I would have everybody come back, play up to 75 games in the regular season each. We'll play until they've played 75 games in the season, then do the playoffs like normal. But obviously, this way is better. Less players and less teams going to hub cities means lower risk of transmission, lower costs for hotel rooms, lower costs for housing players, and for necessities and, like, say, keeping the players fed and paying for all this stuff, travel, blah, 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 blah. I do think that it's also a good cost-saving measure as well as a COVID-19 mitigation process, which mitigation is a fancy word for reducing risk, basically. But yeah, Sean, I do agree. It will be hard watching without any crazy fans in the crowd going, yeah! Okay, that sounded more like me trying to go Super Saiyan, but you get my point. Did you see how the Glacier Twill looks on the Penguins jersey I got back? Yes, it looks great. Even though I would never want the Penguins to change their main jerseys again, I would love to see them bring in Glacier 12. I think that would be a little subtle little addition that I think would be super cool. I just thought of something. Do you think that Toronto and Edmonton will use their goal horns for all the teams? I actually believe that what's going to happen is they're going to do what they've done in events like the Memorial Cup, for example, where they use recordings of teams' goal horns. It's super cheesy as hell, but you know what? In my opinion, it kind of gives a team a bit of a home feel. So I do think they will use recordings. So, for example, if Vancouver or Minnesota or if Vancouver scores, you'll hear their generic, mediocre goal horn in the background. I'm sorry, guys, but I have to do a little bit of a goal horn rant. There's too many teams that have the same bleeping goal horns. Like, does anybody have any originality out there? Jesus, Murphy. I wish the Avs never got rid of the Glacier 12. Yeah, I agree. That was dumb. In fact, I actually feel that the only good jersey they have is their home uniform. I actually don't care for their away uniform, to be honest. And, you know, I think I'm about to surprise a lot of you, but I've never been a fan of the Mountain Range Avalanche uniforms. I love the color of burgundy. I do. I think it's unique. I think it's great that Colorado has done something that nobody else has ever done since they relocated from Quebec City. But I'd like to see them go and wear uniforms more along the lines of the Latvian hockey teams, where they wear burgundy with white, black, and silver. And the Avalanche could add some blue too. I think they should. But I'd like to see them go in more of a more traditional route for their uniforms route. And I think it would look really good. The Blackhawks were the first team to use a goal horn. I did not know that. The saying really is true. You do learn something new every day. You know what I'm gonna say too, that something that actually might surprise you guys to hear this, but there's part of me that sometimes wouldn't mind if a team did not blast a goal horn when they scored, where you could just listen to the fans go, yeah. Okay, this time I said yeah, and it didn't sound like I was trying to go Super Saiyan and pull a Goku. So, got to give myself a bit of a pat on the back there. Yes, the Weedus Heat 96. Um, I totally agree. The royal blue uniforms are some of the best uniforms in the entire NHL. They're classics. They should have never gotten rid of them in the 90s either. Then their away jersey so close to what it replaced. I'm happy with their away jersey. It still looks great. But then they bring in a brighter orange with navy blue. I've never liked that uniform as a home uniform. If it was an alternate, I could live with it, but not as a home. And their new third jersey, honestly, in my opinion, looks like a knockoff jersey that you would find from a counterfeiter. Honestly. The only thing they did that's great on their third jersey is the new logo, the new dark navy blue and orange Halloweenish version of their logo. That looks awesome. But the rest of the uniform is a dumpster fire. And then next year, or whenever they are able to launch their new fourth jersey program, which sounds like some new stupid gimmick of some sort, which I hope that they prove me wrong and produce some uniforms that I look at and go, wow, those are awesome. I mean, I hear the Devils will do a green version of their throwback white sweater, which, if that's the case, which I'm positive it's true, since it's coming from aesthetics. I mean, I think that's actually going to be really cool, right? But, do I want to see, like, say, the Vancouver Canucks in a green version of their home jersey? No, I don't. If they're going to do a fourth jersey, allow teams to either do an additional throwback or a flip of an existing design. Now, as for the Oilers, to you, the Weedus Heat 96, Do you prefer if I call you by your username or by your actual name? I don't. There's been part of me wanting to call you by your first name, but out of respect, I don't want to do that unless I know you either prefer it or you're cool with it or same. You know what I mean. But with the Oilers, yeah, I mean, they should at least wear the royal blue throwbacks as a fourth jersey, especially considering last season they decided to troll those of us like you and myself who vastly prefer the royal blue sweaters by wearing them for a whopping 4 games last season as a throwback. Thanks, Edmonton. Thank you. Thank you for doing what none of us wanted by going full-time orange with navy blue and then wearing the throwback a season later for 4 games just to say, hey, it's our 40th anniversary. And now this season they got rid of it for some new navy blue uniform that sucks. Yes, I said that. Orange on navy with no white looks bad. It has a bit of a counterfeit feel to it, or appearance to it, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that or not. I respect your opinions, but I just think their new jersey sucks. Their new alternate. But the only thing that's good about it is the logo and the fact that it's actually blue. Gee, never thought I'd be saying that. I was happy to see the Oilers wearing blue again. That should be their color, not orange. But anyway, the point I'm trying to get at, sorry for being long-winded and going on and on and on a tangent, but according to Aesthetics, to you, the We to Seat 96, I hear the Oilers are planning on doing a flip of their white jersey where it's got an orange shoulder yoke instead of a blue one. You just wore your royal blue throwbacks last season. You're going to do that instead of bringing out the jersey you should be bringing back. To me, it's ridiculous. So since the Hawks were the first team to use the goal horn, every team copied them. If there's something that teams can copy from another team, I think a goal horn is actually a pretty good thing to copy. I just wish that there was more diversity in the goal horns that were used across the NHL. Maple Leafs have a generic horn. There's too many teams that either go as their goal horn or I mean, I sound like I'm an irritable drunk guy doing that, but it's just I just wish more teams had some variety. Like, why can't the Canucks use the goal horn they used in the early 90s? Bring that back. Oh, and bring back those uniforms while you're at it. I'm sick of the Orca. Okay, Sean, you're saying, I don't like the fact that Nashville and Buffalo have the same goal horn. I agree. I also don't like that Minnesota, Florida, Arizona, who else? Wow, I feel really, I'm having a total brain fart right now. Here, you know what? I'm going to just pull up the something to refer. So, guys, I'm going to try to answer all your comments, too, by the way. I always do. So, yeah, you've got Arizona's got the same horn. Arizona, Dallas is a slightly different version, but it's basically the same. Florida, Minnesota. The Devils thankfully changed theirs, which is great. Washington's is very similar. So basically, you've got 5 teams that are very close to each other. Then you've got, and they all sound like this. And then the teams that sound like this are, sorry, I know if I sound ridiculous, I'm sorry. You've got Columbus. You've also got Philadelphia, even though theirs is a little bit different. I don't mind Philadelphia's goal horn, to be honest. You've got the Blues, you've got Tampa Bay, and you've got Toronto, and you've got Vancouver with the same goal horn in some capacity. 2 of those teams could even change their horns, and I would be happy with that. They could be a lot more creative. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Sean. The We to Seat 96. So, Steve, you're saying that you also missed the Oilers 2015 through 2017 orange third jersey. I loved those as well. I thought that was the perfect alternate uniform. You know, if the Oilers went back and did the right thing, went back to royal blue full time, they could wear that as a throwback and bring back the old navy blue third jersey from the 2000s. And I think most people, including myself, would be very happy with that. But speaking of that, I actually really want to see the Oilers bring back the original white Alberta Oilers WHA sweater. That is a sweater that I would love to have. Personally, I would love to see the Oilers wear that at some point. So, you don't care if I call you by your username or real name. That's why. Okay, perfect. Thanks. I didn't feel comfortable starting to call you Steve, or unless you were okay with it. If the Blackhawks series versus the Oilers goes at least 4 games, it would be odd seeing the Blackhawks play on my birthday because hockey never is playing then. Yeah, I bet it would be odd. But I'd rather see hockey in July than a fully canceled 2019-20 season, that's for sure. Sean says, I remember Vegas stole San Jose's goal horn when they first played in the league. I remember that too. Then they stole Colorado's because why not? But hey, at least their goal horn matches a goal horn from a different division rather than a division rival. So I respect Vegas for that. Personally, I don't mind Vegas and Colorado having the same horn, to be honest. Well, hockey in August, yes. That's going to be strange. But you know what? With the way things have been going, I do think we need some sports back. I think it would be a wonderful morale boost for everybody. I think it'd be great for the mental health of a lot of people. And I think it'd be a great morale boost to tell us that, hey, you know, just because things have completely been off the wall, off the rails due to this awful, awful COVID-19 pandemic, if we keep going, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I have the utmost faith that there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen 2 weeks from now. But you know what? I do believe that eventually we will find a way to get past this. I'm completely confident, and I have faith in that. And hopefully, hopefully they'll find something by the end of the year. A vaccine, hopefully. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to give you basically a 10 to 12 minute warning. I'm going to wrap up the stream in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So, okay. I will be getting the Patrick Kane playoff mullet in about 2 weeks. Nice. You know, Nick, I have to make a confession. I have always wanted a Jaromir Jagr mullet. I just think that's such a badass hairdo. You know, lately I've let my hair grow out more, and honestly, it's for the longest time I've had super razor short hair. And it's so nice to actually have some hair. But man, a Jaromir Jagr mullet, if I could pull that off, that would be so cool. Maybe I should try that someday. And Sean, you're saying you're growing a playoff beard soon. Ah. Who's your favorite team, Sean? I've never asked you this question. I'm laughing at you guys because ever since, not this past September, but the September before that, I've had some type of beard in some way, shape, or form. I blame it on all the ZZ Top I listen to. I mean, when you listen to ZZ Top, it's almost like the hair grows listening while you listen to the music. Okay, jokes aside, but you know. And my coworker, he's had a beard for as long as I've worked where I work, and his beard Oh my goodness. He honestly looks, his beard is almost long enough he could be a fourth member of ZZ Top. Sadly, every time my team loses, I always shave it off. Hmm. Takes me a couple days to grow a beard. You sound like me. That's also why I started just saying, you know what, the hell with it. I'm leaving my face alone. I'm just going to do what my coworkers do and grow out some facial hair. Because within a couple, 2 or 3 days, my face is covered in whiskers. Every time I shave, I'm constantly nicking myself, and I'm shaving, and then there's parts that aren't fully coming off, or then there's parts of my face that are still bristly. I'm like, hell with this. All this time and effort to have to do this every few days. I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna have some facial hair and enjoy it. As long as you don't let your beard grow all wild like I did about a year ago as I'm doing this live stream, you know, when I look at the photo of myself and my big messy beard from a year ago, now I understand why, for example, my mom was saying, "Hey, get that trimmed. What the hell are you doing?" But if you keep a beard nicely maintained and trimmed in some capacity, it actually looks really sharp if done right, of course. And it depends on the person. Some people look better with beards than others, in my opinion. And then some people have excellent mustaches, like Lanny McDonald. Yeah, and I have been shaving ever since I was 16. Only 16? I've been shaving since I was basically 13. I've been shaving in some capacity since grade 7. Once I got to the end of the end of elementary school, all of a sudden I got a full blown mustache almost. It was really bad because it was just coming in for the first time. I, obviously I started hitting puberty at that point, and then with the first facial hairs, and it just looked bad. But then by the time the end of high school came, it, you know, started growing some facial hair, and it looked actually okay. But then, of course, at the time, I didn't want to have facial hair, and then I shaved it off. And, it was what it was. But then now in my mid 20s, I'm like, my coworkers have beards. We're allowed to have beards in my job, and I'm sick and tired of having to shave every 2 to 3 days. So you know what? I'm going to try growing a beard for the first time in my life, and basically, I've had one in some capacity for almost a couple of years. You have to get 3 stripes shaved on the sides of your head, and if they get eliminated early, have to get another haircut. Oh man. I started shaving before my high school grad in 2015 because my parents made me. Basically, that was the situation for me too. One of my neighbors at the time used to say to me, he said, "You've got a dirty Sanchez." And I remember when I was about 13 years old, I was starting to get a little annoyed with that. And then my mom and dad were saying, you come on, I think it's time. And then my mom said, "Hey, it's to my dad, hey, I think you should show him how to shave." And then obviously I started doing that up until about a year and a half ago. And then the rest is history. Sean tried doing the Kane playoff mullet. You know what? If they get eliminated, let it grow out for a little while. Enjoy it. And also another thing on that, the less you have to go out, the better. If you have to, there's obviously things to go out and do, but sorry to be that guy, Mister, telling everybody something. I don't mean to be that guy telling everybody what to do. I don't mean to come across that way, but um, try. I mean, obviously it's hard where you've been stuck inside for months. Obviously, you want to go and do stuff. I do too, but go out only when you really, really have to, or if you can go out somewhere. I mean, if you can, and you do want to go somewhere that's not necessary, just make sure you're careful. You know, I don't want any of you guys coming down with this. This is really serious stuff, and I don't wish this on anybody. This is really, really bad, what's been going on. So, you know what, guys? Use your due diligence. I know you guys know what you're doing. I know you guys do. But, you know, even today, I mean, I had to go out today and get some stuff done. And, you know, where I went, Nick, I took your advice. I've honestly been I have been laying off the gas pedal a little bit. There have been times I've been going out, but lately I've been listening. I've been wearing a face mask every time I go out. I've been doing it. So that's a good thing. Now I don't want to keep talking about that, so let's move on to another thing. I don't mean to be depressing. So let's read some more comments. Sorry, guys. Okay. I may try that, but the truth is I have been shaving since January 1st, 2010. Wow, you even know the date you started shaving. I'm impressed. I tip my hat to you, Sean. Okay. Yeah, basically for me, I started, yeah, I had to start shaving by the end of grade 7 while I was still in elementary school. Here I am, you know, still at the end of elementary school. I'm still basically a little boy, and now I've got some facial hair. Of course, it didn't look right, so obviously, you know, getting it shaved off was a necessity. And then, you know, start getting into high school and the facial hair comes in. I know for some people it comes in better than others, but in my case, when it comes in, it really comes in. And it fills up my whole face. And, you know, there was times in high school where I let it get a little bit long and then I'd have to shave it because, you know, I didn't want it getting too long. And then there were times, of course, where the parents would say, hey, you know, you better shave that off, you know. So, of course, being a teenage kid, I had to listen. And then, okay, so your first day shaving was May 15th, 2015. Wow. I'm impressed that you two, you, Steve, and you, Sean, remember your first days shaving. I'm impressed. That's pretty cool. I'm actually really impressed. Hmm. The one day I do remember quite fondly is the day that I was able to actually drive by myself without my mommy or daddy holding my hand while I drive. That was a good day. Then I actually had a little bit of freedom. I can't wait to do some playoff videos. Well, Nick, I can't wait to watch your playoff videos. Sean, I may do one too as well because I never done that before. Are you talking about growing a beard or doing a cane mullet? And the weed is Heat 96. You have a really good memory. I can tell. If you can remember the first day you shaved, you've got a good memory. And hey, having a good memory, that is one of the best things you can have, in my opinion. Being able to retain things, even the little things, in my opinion, is not a bad thing. That's a great thing to have. You remember stuff from 2005, honestly. That's impressive. That's really impressive. Now, if I could just have a good enough memory to watch music videos and learn how to play guitar, then I would be laughing. You know, my goodness, if I could play a guitar like someone like Mark Knopfler, I would be so, so happy. That would be incredible. But every time I play a guitar, no matter how many times I play it, I sound horrible. I can play a few chords, but, you know. Oh, a playoff video. My bad, Sean, my bad. Yeah, do a playoff video, Sean. Do it. I encourage you. That would be great. Yeah, that's one thing that would be cool to do. Play a guitar and absolutely kick ass at playing it. That would be amazing. Mm. You know what I would like to see come back in the 2020s, you guys? Hair metal. Just some good rock and roll. You know, I'm so sick and tired of the garbage music that's made. And I'm really annoyed with all the millennials, post millennials, aka Zoomers, that listen to all this crap on the radios. All this mainstream crap. It's just, I'm sick of it. You know, you go back to a year like, say, 1984, all the mainstream stuff sounds great. You know, I want to see some good old 80s style metal come back. That would be so great. You know, I understand why grunge was popular in the early 90s where people had gotten sick of hair metal, but you know what? Grunge died out because it was just, you know, a lot of it was, I don't know. I don't really like how dark a lot of grunge music is. As I say that, there are good grunge songs and bands out there, but it's just not the same. Okay. Well, I will keep the stream going on for a few more minutes to see if anything else pops up here in the live chat section. If there isn't, I'm going to call it a wrap at this point. So basically, I'll take a moment here just to wait and see if any more comments come up from you guys. And I can sing, but I cannot play guitar. I can't do either, so you're doing better than me, my friend. 70s to the 90s, maybe early to mid 2000s. Hey, take care, Nick. I have a feeling that means you've got to go. So have a great night. Thank you for joining in, Nick. I'm glad that you joined in. That's great that I had about, how many of you did I have in? Okay. So I basically had 5 of you, so that's great. You know, Steve, I'm basically on the same boat. I really like stuff from the 70s to the early to mid 1990s. After that, there's very few songs that I like. Um, the only artist that I've seen recently that has made some music that I can listen to is The Weeknd. The rest of it, no. And in the past 10 years, the only other mainstream artist of some sort that's made music that I can listen to is Foster the People. And they made about 3 or 4 songs I could listen to, and the rest of it is indie hipster music that I just can't do. And you know what? That's something I don't like about rock music. It's gone too indie. Either it's raw or it's, you know, I don't know how to put it, you know, la 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 la, or I don't know. It's either it's gone hipster or it's all heavy, heavy raw metal, or it's porno grind where it goes or pig squeals, something like that. That's basically another type of music form that there is for rock music. Yeah, of course that's gonna totally be playable on a radio. Of course not. But some of that stuff is oh god. I remember listening to this one grindcore song once. I laughed so hard. All it was just pig squealing. That was pretty funny. I remember that fondly. Whew, wrong hole. I've got some water in the wrong hole. All right. So what I will do now is I will basically start to now. Now I've delayed this a little bit, but I'm now going to start to make the next 5 minutes about concluding this surprise stream that I thought I'd do. I'm also sick of copyright, especially when it comes to uploading gameplay. I know it. You know, Sean, it has gotten so out of hand. You know what? You hear like 2 seconds of a song playing in the background. Copyright, copyright, take it down. Are you kidding me? It's a joke. You know, it pisses me off. Like even, you know, I think even Nick, yeah, Nick last year had a copyright strike for some stupid BS reason in a live stream. Yes, there was commentary or something in the background. Oh, it's a copyright strike. You know, if somebody is making money with a clip of something in the background, I can understand there being an issue. But if you are like most of us people out there that have YouTube channels for the fun of it, and we're not making money off of our channels, what's the big deal? You know, why is it that somebody can't make a hockey compilation video using some song? I mean, if they're not making money off it, what's the big deal? You know, to me, it's more of like a subtle promotion. To me, I actually think it's a really good way to market a musician or a band or an artist. More people hear their music. You know, maybe somebody plays a hockey compilation video with some new pop song that I listen to and go, wow, that sounds so good. I want to listen to this artist. But no, it's a copyright. You know, if you're making money off your videos and you got your channel monetized and there's something copyrighted in the background, all YouTube should do, in my opinion, is it should be allowed on the condition that you're not allowed to make any money off it. And if there's a particular video that's been generating some types of revenue with the music in the background, have the video monetized until the company that's filed the copyright gets that much in ad revenue given to them, the same amount as what you made, and then take the ads off for good. And just not allow ads in videos with copyrighted material. Instead of taking it down, I mean, truth is, there's a video that I made back in grade 12 as part of a digital story product or project that my class did when I took English in grade 12. And it was a really cool video that I did. And truth is, I failed the project because it was supposed to be a story about something in your life, and I misread the instructions on the assignment. And instead, I made it mine a story about Sidney Crosby starting out as a kid and working his way up to being a Stanley Cup champion and winning the Stanley Cup back in 2009. Because obviously I made the project back in 2012, eh? So that was a really cool video that I'm proud of. And it does have photos with copyright things on them, with people's or companies' watermarks in them and whatever. And the song in the background is a song called Calling Elvis by Dire Straits. A great song, by the way, if you've never heard it, at least in my opinion. Really cool video that I made. I'm super proud of it, even to this day. I've always wanted to upload it to YouTube, especially so that I could show one or two people that I've actually was friends with, that I went to high school with, and show them a video as a little bit, you know, because I was always really annoyed with my class at the time because nobody had the balls to show their video to the class. Nobody wanted to show their videos. I'm like thinking to myself, why? Who cares? I was the first person. I was the only person in my class at the time. I remember saying to my teacher, hey, if nobody else wants to show a video, I would love you to show my video, even if it's used as an example of what not to do. Because, you know, I thought to myself, well, all of us have spent the time doing these videos. I think it'd be so cool if at least one of us got to show our video to the class. And of course, the English teacher said, no, I'm not going to show anybody's videos. That was a bummer. But yeah, I've wanted to show that video for the past 5 years on my channel. And I don't want to because even though my channel's not monetized in any way, shape, or form, and even though I would never allow that video to be monetized, even if I could ever get to the point where I could actually monetize this channel. You know, even sorry, my voice is cracking there like I'm still in puberty. What's going on here? You know, um, even though I would never monetize the video in a million years, even if I could, I'm still I still don't want to. I still don't feel comfortable posting it because I'm just going to give my channel a copyright strike. Why bother? What's the point in wasting my time uploading something when I'm probably going to get it taken down and get a permanent something on my channel? What the hell's the point? It's pointless. It's stupid. I mean, if the copyright rules weren't so goddamn stupid, I could actually upload that video. Hell, maybe I should just make a BitChute account so that I can upload that video. Or I could use a different email address and upload it. And then I could show it until my video got copyright removed. I could do that too. And then if it got removed, I'm not losing anything. But I don't know. I'm not going to bother. Anyways, I'm going to now spend the next 3.5 minutes concluding the stream. Is there anything, if anybody wants to add any final things, feel free to do so. I am going to actually start wrapping this up now. I thought I'd go in and talk about and answer your comments while I'm seeing them come up. And Sean, the copyright thing, I really wanted to talk about that. That's a great point. It pisses me off too, man. So to you, Steve, you say you also upload your videos to BitChute as well as an alternative. Yeah, that's a really good idea. And the thing with BitChute as well, they actually, from what I hear, they are far less likely to censor you and your content. And I hear that YouTube censorship is getting really bad. And that's not right, in my opinion. I've also heard there's been some more censorship towards channels that are more right-wing leaning. In my opinion, everybody should be equal, regardless of political view, whether you agree with a left-wing media sources or disagree with them, or agree with right-wing sources or disagree with them. I think everybody should be treated the same. If you say or do things that cross the line, you should all be punished accordingly, equally. Everybody should be treated the same way. I think that's the way it should be. So I hope that that's not true about YouTube. I hope it's not. I hope it's just people that are complaining, saying, oh, they deleted my content, when it's actual justified reasons to delete it. I hope that's the reasoning, but you know, I don't like the idea of censorship. I don't think that's right. Now, are there some things that can be censored that I think are good to censor? I can't say no. I mean, if somebody's using a racial slur towards somebody, I think that should be censored. I do think they should get some type of YouTube reprimand, for sure. Absolutely. But, you know, do I think that everything should be from one side? If somebody's got an opinion that isn't racist and isn't homophobic or LGBT phobic in any way, do I think they should be censored? Depends on what it is, obviously. It should always be a case-by-case basis because everything's different. Eh? But, you know, I believe something should only be censored if there's actual genuine reason to justified reason to censor it. Now, obviously, that's a very broad term, but you know, I just feel that if there's gonna be censorship anywhere, I think it shouldn't be based on basic political view. At least that's my view. Okay, so Sean, you're saying I don't want my channel monetized because I don't want ads on my videos. I respect that. But at the same time, though, if you did have an opportunity to bring some extra income for yourself and you could do it and pull it off, I wouldn't be against you doing that, to be honest. You know, I respect people trying to make money and trying to improve their lives. And YouTube has done a lot for a lot of people. I mean, look at, say, the hockey guy, for example. His whole entire livelihood is his channel. I mean, I think that's great that someone like him can sit down, film videos all day, and talk about what he loves and do what he loves and make a living off it. So if you got a chance to do that and you can do it without the YouTube police taking down your videos for a myriad of different reasons, such as, copyright infringements or saying something that breaks their terms of service, then I think by all means go for it. If you can monetize, do it. If it can be done, in a reasonable way. I mean, if you're monetizing clips from shows and stuff, I can understand that being something that you probably wouldn't be able to do for long. I hate being that guy, but it is true. Now, Sean, I see you're getting ready to type something else out. I'll wait for your comment. Hey, 5 likes on the video. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you guys are liking it. See, Sean, I can't disagree. I mean, censorship is starting to become a problem. Yeah, you can't talk about certain topics. And you know what? You used to have more freedom. There's no question about it. And I am sick of COPPA making YouTube even worse myself. I think that it should be up to the parents of young kids to be smart enough to understand that, hey, I should watch my little 10-year-old child if he's on my tablet or on my telephone looking at YouTube videos. I think the mummies and daddies of the world need to be more responsible with their kids, and the onus should be on them to parent properly and to have their kids on YouTube responsibly. In fact, in my personal opinion, I think YouTube is better off being a site for ages 13 plus. I didn't start having anything to do with YouTube videos until my mid to late teens. Do I think a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old kid needs to be on YouTube? Nope, I don't. Matter of opinion, obviously. I know not everybody's going to agree. But, I think you have to be careful with young kids and the internet in general. I mean, I've seen so many young kids. I even saw a kid recently, about a year ago, I'm not going to say which site it was, but he called somebody else a homophobic slur, which obviously it's what I call the gay F word. You know the one. And don't type it in the comments section, guys, because I don't want you guys getting in trouble. But you know what? Then the kid gets kicked out of a server, and somebody actually screenshot it at the time, which I'm sure it's not even there anymore, thankfully. But then the kid tells me that, oh well, I didn't actually know what the word meant. All I thought was it was just a swear word like everything else. And there you go, a young kid who doesn't know what the hell is even coming off of his fingertips, typing it in on the internet. And now that's something that he has actually done, that is a written record of it. Obviously, I think what he did was bad, of course. And thankfully, from what I can tell, he's learned his lesson, which is great. That's great. But, with kids, I don't like it when kids are on all these social media things. I don't. Teenagers, I'm more impartial to because they have a little bit more of an idea, more of an understanding. But, even a lot of teenagers, I've had Snapchat for a few years now. And I'm actually getting ready to delete my Snapchat pretty soon because I find there's no point in having it, to be quite frank. But there's been times where I've seen former coworkers at my old job where, when I was working there, they'd take snaps of themselves toking on a bong. I mean, that's Snapchat, really. Kids, teenage kids posting videos of themselves smoking marijuana and toking on a bong. I mean, you know, the internet can be a very, very disappointing, or it can have some disappointing things come up from it. So, with COPPA, I just think, yeah, hey Nick, I've actually been going longer than I had anticipated. But hey Nick, what I was saying was I was talking about the fact that with the internet, I've seen kids post some stupid stuff on the internet. I've seen teenagers on Snapchat taking snap videos of themselves toking on bongs, and kids, selling vaping pods and all that, and they like to take Snapchat clips of themselves smoking vapes. Jesus Christ, what are we coming to? Well, I think now what I will do is now I'm going to finally try to wrap this up. You know what? This is the funniest thing about live streams. You say you want to have it for a certain period of time, and you start talking to people, and you start answering the questions, and you start going on more, and then you're like me, who's been sitting here for the past hour 52 minutes. And hey, notice something. My internet connection has actually worked the whole time. Thanks, internet. It's a miracle. This is the first time I've done a stream without any internet bullcrap, without any issues. It's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. But you know what? I think now that some of the devices aren't being used for the internet anymore, I had a family member move out, so that helps. Now the internet connection's probably better. Probably be doing a live stream on Sunday for the 2-year anniversary of your channel. I will do my best to watch that, Nick. I will. Yeah, if I got a chance to sit down and watch that, Nick, I will. That is great. 2 years with your channel. I'm about to turn 5. Well, as a YouTuber. That's cool. But anyways, guys, I will basically try and spend the next 2 to 7 minutes wrapping the stream up, unless you guys have some more comments. But I do want to try to wrap this up at this point. Truth is, I actually wouldn't mind watching a movie between now and the time I go to bed. Considering I have tomorrow off of work, yay, I might as well enjoy myself. Crack open a beer and just watch a movie. You're buying a camera for your PS4 to stream off it. I think that's a good idea because I know you've been having some issues streaming in recent months. I'm actually really glad to see you say that because I think that's a really good idea. Your PS4 stream worked great earlier this past week. So I hope you can get a new camera. I think that's a great idea. So guys, after almost 5 years, this is the final live stream I am doing as TheRockzilla94 on August 1st, 2020, which is about 3 weeks or 3 weeks away from today. This channel gets not a name change, but a name tweak, as I'm calling it. And from August 1st onward, this channel will just be Rockzilla. I will be just Rockzilla. And no more and no more number 94. It's just going to be Rockzilla from August 1st forward. I think the name change was the right call. I've wanted to change my name since about 11 months ago. So, Nick, I do want to thank you for your advice about the fact that my jersey or my channel name is already established. And I think that the name tweak to Rockzilla is a really good choice. I see you're saying here a New Jersey collection video tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. I did see the photo you posted. Those jerseys look great. Nick, don't worry, I'm not going to tell anybody what they are. But I did see the one jersey, or one or two jerseys. I'm going to be a little bit secretive about it so I don't blow your cover. But what you brought home, what you had sent to you, looks really great. It really does. And I'm not going to talk about the part that I like about it that I talked to you about recently, the past couple of days. I will mention it in the comment section on your video. That's for sure. But you guys, after almost 5 years, I can't believe it's been 5 years already, basically. I want to thank you guys for the fact that, this has been a place over the past 5 years where over the years where I've been through the good, bad, and even the ugliest of times, where I've been able to go here and use this channel as a bit of an escape and talk to other people about this hobby that I've cared about for so many years: jerseys, logos, and uniforms and sports. And even as of last year, I started talking about baseball. And yes, I'm looking forward to your Rangers jersey getting the customization done too. But guys, as the Rockzilla94 era is getting set to come to an end, I want to thank you guys for the past 5 years. I mean, I know that obviously I didn't have any subscribers until February of 2016. But since then, this channel has grown a little bit. This channel has now actually hit 151 subscribers. That's awesome. And thank you guys for that. I hope you guys have all been enjoying my videos. And, I've enjoyed getting to know so many of you in the comment sections of my videos and being able to talk to you guys about the stuff in this hobby that I've talked about over the years. And I look forward to more years of doing the same thing. But I hope that as this era ends, I do hope that the new Rockzilla era is an era that everybody will continue to enjoy the channel. I also hope it's an era that the channel will get even better. I hope it's an era where, where one door closes, a new door opens, and on the other side of that door is an even better future where, there will be more videos, there will be more live streams. And you know what? I'm looking forward to this. I've wanted to change the channel name for almost a year now. It's finally going to happen on August 1st, to answer your question, Nick. Great segue or transition into what I'm talking about. So what's the date the channel name change happens? August 1st, Nick, is your answer, or my answer to that. So when the channel name changes, the channel isn't going to just start magically changing and being something totally new. It's going to be the same thing. But I do hope that the new era, the new Rockzilla era of the channel, is the better era than the first 5 years. And I kind of have a feeling it will be. Now that I'm more established with my work, now that my schedules are a little less sporadic and I'm, scheduled more often now and not on call as often, I do think that I will start to be able to continue doing more videos more often. But I'm not going to guarantee it because, things pop up. And even yesterday, I wanted to sit down and film a video, and truth is, I was dead tired. I had been up since 7 in the morning, and once it hit about midnight, I was really, really my eyes were really heavy. I wanted to really just, I was tired. Truth is, I wanted to watch a movie last night, and I was exhausted. So I just thought to myself, I'm just going to hit the hay and call it a night. And I did. Much needed 9 hours of sleep, in my opinion. But I will say this, though. When you strain your neck and upper shoulder muscles, it hurts. And in fact, I woke up in a fair bit of pain today. So thank heavens for Tylenol. Woohoo! So yeah, after I took that Tylenol, I've been feeling great ever since. And that was at like 1 o'clock today. So I think now I've been able to unkink the tension in my muscles. So that's good. This will be the first year Bettman doesn't get booed when handing off the cup. That's because nobody's going to be there. Of course. I know. This is a case where you pull up that meme where you show the joke above the person. Yeah, actually, I think this will be the second year because when Bettman first joined the National Hockey League as the new president of the NHL before being called commissioner, he did hand the cup off to the Montreal Canadiens. So I don't think he got booed then, but once he got established, started relocating some teams in his tenure, started having the 94-95 lockout, started ruffling some feathers. That's obviously when people started to say, hey, F you too. But anyways, you guys, I want to thank you all for this era of the channel as the Rockzilla94, and now I'm honestly looking forward to this era coming to a close. I'm looking forward to finally using my 5-year anniversary logo for the channel instead of just Facebook and Discord. And yeah, the channel will be going gold. That's great. Batman is cheering. Well, the only cheering I've ever heard of that happens as a result of booing is people at a Bruce Springsteen concert where people be like, hey, why are they booing? But really they're all saying, Bruce. But yes, booing Batman is cheering. I mean, especially, I must say, it is kind of funny seeing him get booed. I'm surprised other commissioners don't get booed more, to be honest. I mean, I'd laugh if Roger Goodell got a whole stadium full of boos. Oh, that'd be funny. Okay. So, as they say in the NFL, any last comments before I call it a wrap on the final live stream that I do as the Rockzilla94? Just thing all hockey fans have to do. You cheer for your team, but Bettman wants to be booed. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I must say it was kind of awkward watching Bettman encourage Vegas fans to boo him when they first had announced their team name. Speaking of team names with Seattle, I think Kraken is a horrible idea. I also am not a big lover of the name Sockeyes. I think it should either be Thunderbirds or Totems. Now, I know not everybody agrees, but you know what? Pick a name that honors your city and your city's history and your hockey history. Seattle has tons of hockey history. Own it. Don't go for some stupid new name like Kraken. Seattle Steelheads? Yeah, that would be okay. I still think Seattle Totems with Kelly green sweaters and an indigenous styled Thunderbird logo would be the best choice. I think that would be so damn pretty. Okay, this is the last minute to play in the third period, as they would say in hockey. So, you guys, I want to thank you. I wasn't expecting to go quite this long for a stream, but am I ever glad that I managed to get Caesar, King Angus, the WC96, Sean, and Windy City Hockey on here. It was great having you all on here. What an awesome way for this channel to start ending this era of being the Rockzilla94. For anybody wondering, I will actually have another stream within a month period, the fastest time between two streams that I've ever done. So the next stream will take place on August 1st in order to properly commemorate the 5-year anniversary of the channel's first video. And it will also be the day where the channel gets a new special 5-year anniversary logo alongside the channel name tweak that is coming as well. So you guys, on that note, after 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 45 seconds, I'm going to call this live stream a wrap. I apologize for the absolute last minute notice, but I was kind of thinking about it earlier tonight, and I thought to myself, you know what? I think this would be the perfect night to do my final live stream as the Rockzilla94. I also said, I've been saying this for a while, that I wanted to do at least one more stream as the Rockzilla94 before August 1st, and I have been able to accomplish that with this stream tonight. So, Nick, I will conclude the stream by reading your comments. So you said here, you should react to your first video on the 5-year anniversary stream. I will basically give you a little bit of a reaction here real quick, and I will remind me to do that on that stream, Nick. I will do that. But when I look at that video, considering it was my first video, I actually think I did okay. You know, being fresh to the whole YouTubing thing. I did that video just for kicks, and because it got 40 views within a night, I thought I did a second video because I thought people might want it. And I did a third video. Then I decided, okay, I'll do 4 more videos. Then I thought to myself, okay, these are getting some views. I'll do another 4 videos. Then I decided to do 4 more videos, and I decided, okay, if after 15 videos I still don't have any subscribers, maybe I'll just come on here and once in a blue moon do a video or 2. And then after the 15th video, I got my first 2 subscribers, and I've been making videos ever since. So that's my story, and then now it's led up to this point. So I do remember that video quite fondly, though. But on that note, that's a great way to wrap that up. And Nick, do remind me about that on August 1st when I do my live stream. And by the way, I will have an official announcement of some sort of start time for that. And I am going to make a formal announcement for that in the coming next week or 2 on Discord. And I do also plan to post one on Facebook as well. So anyways, you guys, I think Nick is the only person left on the stream, even though it says there's 3 people watching. I hope you all have a great night, a great rest of your weekend, and thank you all for being part of the stream and being a part of the channel over the past 5 years. It's been great getting to talk to all of you that I've been talking to off and on consistently over the years. And I look forward to doing more of that in the future. So, as I always say at the end of all of my videos, until my next video, you guys, and in this case, my next live stream, as Nick has said in the comments here, take care. And as Nick would say, I hope you've enjoyed this live stream broadcast. Okay, the live stream part was paraphrased in. But I hope you guys have enjoyed my live broadcast tonight. And until my next video, take care, as Nick said in the comments section here. And as always, folks, bye for now. And I look forward to being back with another video and talking to you all again real soon. All right, you guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.